And we're live. I think we're alive. Are you guys alive? It's hard to tell some days. Anyhow, hello, my friends. Hello. I just called to say hello. Good to see you, folks. Welcome, 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 welcome to the shit show. No, welcome to b.hive Productions Tuesday Tales presents. We have been reading from my upcoming novel. Hey, Jessica, welcome. You are first up. Um, we have been reading from my upcoming novel called The Ballad of Broken Bird. It's something a little different than what you what you usually expect from me. Usually, you get a lot of scary, gory stuff, graphic, violent. This is not that. This is a road story, kind of a, well, not really a coming of age because the guy's in his 50s, but um yeah, it's a bit of a healing novel. How we doing, Kevin? Jessica beat you tonight. I'm a little disappointed in you, buddy. Uh you need to do better next time. So anyhow, we're cruising. We're kind of cruising on the story. We're on chapter 9 and 10 tonight. We've been following the progress of our main character, Broken Bird, who is a no sleeping, right? Yeah, I bet you miss the no sleeping Wednesdays, don't you? Um, we've yeah, we're on chapter 9 and 10. We've been following Broken Bird, who is this Native American fella. Um, and some might say, well, why does he got to be Native American? He's Native. It's relevant. It's relevant to the story. It's relevant to Broken Bird. I'm old and slow. Good afternoon, my friend. She is doing well. She's doing well. Yeah, she's doing a lot better. She's back to her old self again. So, um, yeah, that's Gypsy had me tied up. You wish she had you tied up, Kev. You wish. So, yeah, had some issues with Steph's granddaughter last night, and we got her taken care of. But yeah, diabetes is a punk ass bitch, and it's not fun to see kids suffer from it. I mean, she's not a kid; she's 18, but yeah, it's no fun. Didn't like seeing her down and out like that. So, but she's doing better, and I I haven't really been asleep since then. So I'm going on, I think, about 1 hour, about an hour of sleep. I think I got last night, but well, who needs sleep? I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? So anyway, yeah, we've been kind of cruising through the book, um, and the kind of the weird thing about this is the book isn't done. It's not completed yet, and the reason for that is because I've just been putting off writing, and I've had a really hard time getting into the book, and I thought, as an exercise, I know all about it. Yeah, yeah, you do. As an exercise, I would read what I have to you guys to get me boosted to start writing on the book again, and it's helped. I've spent a lot of time on it. Um, Not as much in the past few days. I've been working on the Halloween special story. Um, that is coming along. That is going to be filled with all the things that you know me for: blood, gore, maybe a little nookie, and yeah. So that will be coming up next Friday. I can't believe it's almost the end of October already. So we will not be doing a toe tapping Thursday, and we will not be doing a coffee with friends on Sunday. But I will be back on Tuesday. Tales presents next week, and then we should be returning back to normal after that. But the reason for that, and some of you has asked why, because when I explained why, we were having microphone issues, and we've got that all figured out. Turns out it was my phone causing all the static and feedback on the machine here. So I got to keep my phone in airplane mode when I'm doing this thing here. Sleeping with Ollie again. Yeah. So um so yeah, we're gonna be taking a break from pretty much everything except for the Tuesday tales. I will have the Halloween story will be completed probably next week, is what I'm guessing. I'm, of course, bringing the laptop with me. I don't know what it is about Florida, but I really get the writing bug when I'm there. Usually when I go visit my dad and my stepmom, that's pretty much what I do. They're like, "Do you want to go here? You want to go there?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just gonna hang out here on your patio under a palm tree, drink coffee, and write." And that's what I do when I go to Florida. So anyhow, so that'll be done next week. So I'd love it if you guys would join me for the Halloween special. It'll be a sleepless Friday for Kevin. It'll be a story time Friday for Jessica, and the rest of you. Well, for Bobby, it'll be a almost Christmas special for him. So um, he's kind of chomping in the bit for that one. And Bobby, I found the Santa Claus hat that you gave me at last year's um, special. So, oh, and by the way, I had to go pick the kids up from the hospital last night, and my car was in the shop. So I gotta give a big thank you to Bobby for lending me his car at 5 in the morning to go get the kids. Um, you're a lifesaver, man. Otherwise, I would have had to try to cram them into my work truck. So anyway, I'm hoping that yeah, I love Florida too, Kev. I really do. I mean, I don't I really don't mind the stereotypes that they throw at Floridians, but I mean, normally it's pretty cheap there. I heard it's gotten pretty bad now, but it used to be cheap to live there, and I don't know. It's warm there. Today has been very windy and very cold and rainy, and I've been wearing my winter jacket for the last 2 days, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this stuff at all. Especially out in the country, that wind was trying to suck the lungs out of my chest, and I'm like, hey, I've only got one and a half, so let's quit it. So, kind of suffer the same issues that our main character, Broken Bird, is going through. So, um, so health wise, I am going to be doing a sleep study in November. Because the heart doctor seems to think I got sleep apnea. I don't, uh, I don't notice that I snore. Nobody else in the house has complained of my snoring, but they said when I was under for my cardio version, they said I was pretty much gagging and stuff for oxygen. So who knows? I got to do a sleep study now for that. Hey Chuck, how are you doing? Good to see you, bud. Hey, nice pictures by the way that you've been posting there of your office. So it looks beautiful. I'll have to come check it out when it warms up. So next summer maybe. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to come down and see you guys more when it warms up here. I see Bobby, geez, like on a daily basis, and that's just. I mean, just imagine what that's like Christmas every day. You know what I mean? My dad's a trucker. He almost lost his trailer today. Oh no! I'm sorry to hear that. He's okay and everything? I'm hoping. So yeah, that's crazy. I know. My dad's had a jackknife rig on him. I think that was due to ice and wind up in North Dakota. Um, he is going to live in his truck forever, I think, because he retired, I don't know, quite a while ago, and he's still trucking. So, but good for him. It keeps him busy. He's like, I don't do it for the money. I don't need the money. I'm just do it because I'm bored, and he probably doesn't want to drive my stepmother crazy. So yeah, there's that. Anyhow, getting back to Broken Bird. Oh, empty trailer. Yeah, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that wind was. It was really bad. When I had lunch at the pizza place, and those signs were flipping around out there. I thought they were gonna fly off and hit me in the head or something, gouge my eye out. He's 74. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's pretty close to my dad's age as well, and he won't give up trucking. So, and that's good for him. I mean, if that's how he wants to spend his retirement, he's happy when he's behind the wheel and traveling. So, as long as he's happy, then I'm happy. So, kind of the cool thing is, um, during the summer when they come up to Minnesota, because he snowbirds in the winter, but when he's trucking up here, every once in a while he gets to take a load right here in Winthrop, and then him and I can go have breakfast in the morning. That's always kind of fun. That's a good way to start my day. I love my dad. He's pretty awesome. So, anyhow, well, I hope you all are doing well and you guys are staying on the roads, staying out of the wind. Well, like I feel like I've got a sandbox in both my eyes. It was just whipping, and I did get nailed by a tumbleweed this afternoon. I wish I could have videoed that. That would have been pretty good. So if you're happy, I'm happy. Well, that's good, Bobby. That's good. I like it when you're happy. Most of the time. Sometimes I get scared when you're happy, especially around Christmas time. Oh, oh yeah. So anyhow, I thought let's get into the story. We followed Broken Bird from his cancer diagnosis, his mother's passing away, and him selling everything, going on his road trip. Started it off with his dad, and started off with his dad, and then he kind of met up with his sister and his nephew, and then he met kind of a medicine man on his mom's reservation, and he learned a little bit about himself, learned a little bit about tradition, and the medicine man kind of set him on the path to healing, as well as getting him on his way on this trip. He also did paid homage to his Uncle Bones, who was a biker that he idolized when he was a kid, and who had passed away. He paid some honor to him up on Bear Butte, and now he's on his way to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I said Hole. So anyhow, so that's where we're at, and I say let's jump into the story here, because I'm trying really hard to wake up with some coffee. I am tired. I fell asleep at work a couple times today. Hopefully my boss isn't watching this. Alrighty. Let's set the mood. Here, no, I'm gone. Here we go. The Ballad of Broken Bird, Chapter 9. I had driven most of the day away and arrived into Jackson Hole, Wyoming, around 6:30 p.m. I took a detour into Grand Teton and stopped near a stream near Jenny Lake. Filled my canteen up with water, picked out a place to camp, and I found a nice quiet place by Beaver Creek. I took a few swigs of water and headed into Jackson Hole. Thought I'd grab a bite and maybe a few whiskeys. There was a little roadhouse just off the highway, so I stopped in. My ass was sore and my back a little achy. I stretched and noticed how much the city had grown up since I was here when I was a kid. It used to be a little town with a ski lodge. Now there were condos, more ski lodges, golf courses, etc. The rich had laid claim to this piece of the wilderness. It was kind of sad. There were Harleys outside the bar and a few pickup trucks, but they were pretty fancy. Mostly wannabe bikers and rich boys trying to be rednecks. Now, when you're a red man and a biker, you tend to do one of two things. You either avoid the trouble, go on to the next hole in the wall to be with your own kind, or you shake the dice and hope for the best. The best being everyone's either too intimidated to bother you or they want to fight you, but kick the shit out of the noisiest one and then you finish your drink. Jimi Hendrix's Angel was echoing out the front doors, so I figured they couldn't be too bad. And so I walk in. It's full, and I half expect the jukebox to stop in mid-verse and all the patrons to stop and stare in my direction. But that's not quite what I got. What I got was a couple of stares from a couple boys in plaid cowboy shirts that looked too city to be country, and a look from some bleach blonde biker bitch wannabe. Her old man taking notice that her attention had just been diverted. You got nothing to worry about, hombre. I'm just here for a few whiskeys, and I'll be on my way back to camp. So I sit way on the far end of the bar, hoping not to draw attention to myself. But in reality, I'm drawing it to myself. And I also notice the conversation around me got quieter. "What are you drinking, honey?" the bartender, a young 20-something, barely dressed, asks. I'll take a Jack 7, please," I said. She returned from the drink station and set a whiskey glass in front of me. It glistened with condensation, glowing in an amber liquid. "You from around here?" "No, I'm from Minnesota." "We don't get too many Indians in this bar." "Yeah, so I noticed, but I'm Irish." She laughed. "Uh-huh, and I'm Somalian." I laughed this time. "You staying out of the sun or what?" Right about then, a man came over from the pool tables. He was my height, a little rounder in the midsection, and losing hair. And he didn't look happy to see me. "This skin giving you trouble?" he said, staring at me. I felt like I walked into a scene from Roadhouse. And where the fuck was Patrick Swayze when I needed him? All right. Cancer got him too. He's a tourist, Hank, she said, rolling her eyes. A paying tourist. And like I figured he would, he walked up to me and tried to intimidate me. You don't look like any tourist I've seen. Well, maybe we could do a selfie together and I could put it on my Instagram, I said. The bartender laughed, as well as the blonde biker bitch. Look here, fucker. I run a nice, quiet bar. The last time you fucking savages came in here and got all drunk, you smashed this place up. Ain't letting that happen again. While it is true, us darker skinned folk do tend to not process the mystical libation of Caucasia very well, I wasn't about to have a discussion about biology with this loaf of Wonder Bread in a cowboy hat. I slammed my drink, ordered another with a shot of Jameson. I could feel my anger flare. I wanted to show 'em how us Injuns got when we're drunk, with a little help from the Irish libation. So, are you the fucking welcome wagon? I asked. One of the tricks to intimidation when in a confrontational situation such as this, the best thing to do is to smile when in the face of danger. It takes your opponent down a few notches. That's some barroom wisdom, courtesy of Uncle Bones. He grabbed my jacket, and I got the first punch in. He fell back and crashed into a high top table. I smiled at him again, and I began to walk towards him. But then a few of the guys there came over, and I knew my time standing was limited. I got a few worthless punches in, but one of them must have thrown hay bales around since he was a toddler, and he picked me up and tossed my sorry ass to the ground. I heard something crunch on my side, and they river danced on my ribs, and I found myself laying on the gravel parking lot shortly after. I'm giving you 5 minutes to get on that rat trap bike of yours and get the fuck out of here before I call the cops, he yelled from the front door. No, I didn't need legal problems. Not now. I just wanted a road trip to find myself. I didn't want to find myself in jail. Did I expect to find myself eating gravel as well? Yeah. Yeah, honestly. What's a road trip without a few scuffles? Besides, when you look like I do, that shit tends to happen. I'm guessing my chances at a fair hearing in a white man's court wasn't going to go well either. So I struggled to stand, hopped on Uncle Bones's bike, and with some trouble kicking it on, I rode off to a spot near Jenny's Lake. I didn't have the energy to set up my little pup tent. I just laid out my sleeping bag and noticed my ribs hurt pretty bad. Every time I took a breath, a sharp pain like something stabbing me with an ice pick in the side hit me. This sucked, since my lungs already felt like I had a wet cement in them to begin with. I painfully coughed a few times, and then lit up a cig, and that made it worse, and I curled into the fetal position, wishing for death. I took out a sweater and wrapped my torso tightly. That helped a little. I'd pull on the sleeves every time I coughed, wanting to exit my lungs so the sweater would hug onto these aching ribs. I grabbed my canteen that I had filled at the spring and chugged a stomachful of water, my breathing hitching, and then I drifted into a restless sleep. I awoke nauseated. I violently puked into the sand. It was never ending and it hit me out of nowhere. I wasn't sure what time it was, but the morning light was just starting to peek over the horizon. The birds were doing their best to sing over my groaning and retching, while the squirrels seemed like they were laughing at my misery. When I finished, I got the cold sweats. I shivered and threw as much clothing as I could over me, and it didn't help. And then I began retching again. The pain screamed from my ribs as I threw up, and then I felt myself needing to take a shit. Oh, God, I gasped to myself. I immediately took off my jeans to my ankles, and no sooner were they down, I shit myself. I was puking and pissing out of my ass. Jesus, those dudes really did a number on me. When the fit subsided, I laid back and drank more water. An hour later, I was doing it all over again. I'd never wanted to die so much in my life. I felt dirty with sweat and fever and shit. Did those guys at the bar fuck something up inside my already fucked up body? I don't know. I eventually passed out, and I don't remember anything until I woke up in the hospital. Now, that was probably a little more than what you wanted to know about Broken Bird. That last part there. Um, so yeah, I'll have to explain that after I read chapter 10 here. But yeah. And that bar fight was really something that happened in it. Yeah. Oh man, memories. Memories. All right. The Ballad of Broken Bird, chapter 10. When the last thing you remember is rolling around in the dirt near a creek, naked and shitting out of both ends, one tends to freak out when opening his eyes, seeing a good looking girl in scrubs and another in a lab coat, and your father in a bland room filled with machines that feed you, monitor you, and drug you. You're awake, the nurse says. Hey, kid, Dad says. You gave us quite a scare, the doctor says. Where am I? I say. St. John's Medical Center, the doctor answers. You've been here for 3 days. 3 days? What the? I sat up and my ribs hurt, and I laid back down. Take it easy, Dad says from the foot of my bed. Pops, what are you doing here? The park ranger brought you in. Said he found you near Jenny's Lake. You weren't in real good condition, the doctor continued. We ran blood tests on you, and you have amoebic dysentery. Noticed you had bruising on your side too, so we assumed you had broken a rib. The fight. Oh shit, the water. I filled my canteen up with some spring water, I recalled to myself. There was a fight? Dad questioned. Not really. I wish I could tell you should see the other guy, but nah, I got my ass kicked. When can my son come home? He turned to the doctor. I'm assuming since he was camping, he's not from around here, the doctor said. So I'll probably keep him for another 24 hours for observation, keep fluids in him, and let him rest up. He's extremely dehydrated. The doctor and the nurse left me and my dad to be alone. So again, Dad, what are you doing here? I asked. They looked up your records, he said. You have me down as next of kin. So you scooted out here? Well, I took the Batmobile. Now, my dad's got a thing for old muscle cars as well as bikes. The Batmobile was an old 1958 Coronet. It had been a squad car in its heyday. Dad rebuilt it from the bottom up, painted it black with red pinstriping. I called it the Batmobile because it looked like that car Adam West drove around in the 60s. If I were to outlive him, I'd want that coronet. I'm sorry you had to come all the way out here, Dad. I'm almost 50 and you're still running to the rescue. I was worried, but you look okay, other than all those bruises and the black eye. Is that why I can't see out that eye? What happened? Same thing that happens every time a native goes into a bar in these parts. Well, maybe you should talk to the cops. Nah, just leave it alone, Pops. I'm all right. Are you still planning on going all the way with this? Yep. He looked disappointed. So, what did you all see since you've been out? Well, I visited with Missy and Jack and then took a ride over to the res. Oh, did you stop in and see family there? Well, Pops, I said a quick hello to Uncle Glenn and Auntie Jackie, but I didn't stick around long. You still bitter? Kinda. But whatever. It is what it is. You can't hold on to that stuff so long. It's not healthy. Says the guy who didn't cry at Grandpa's funeral. Okay, touche. Dad and Grandpa didn't get along for as long as he lived. Granddad was a mean drunk. Spent his time working, drinking, and sleeping. The end. Hey, do you remember a guy named Benjamin Lost Horse? Uh, I met a lot of people out there when your mom and I were married. But to be honest, they always got me so drunk I don't remember much. Huh, why do you ask? I met a guy out there, like a medicine man type guy. He was pretty interesting. Did he know your mom? He he didn't really say. Not really the type of guy that answers questions directly. And then you ended up in Jackson Hole and got into a bar fight. Like I said, Pops, it wasn't much of a fight, but yeah, that's the gist of it. I had coughed a couple times. Okay, several times. And I could feel the sharp stabbing pain in my bruised ribs. You still coughing up blood? Yeah. I wish you'd consider just coming home. We could plan a family vacation. Anywhere you want to go. We'll get your sisters and brother to come out. It'll be. Thanks, Dad. Despite a few setbacks, this trip has been good for me so far. I know I haven't been on the road long, but in this short time, I'm beginning to. I don't know. I feel like I'm beginning to live. Oh, okay. I knew that reaction. It was disappointment. But my time was short, and despite running into rednecks and pissing out my ass, this trip really helped me sort shit out in my head. I wish there were two of me. Then one of me could hang out with my family, and the other could do this road trip. But this is reality, and there's only one of me. And this me wants to hit the wind as soon as he can. How long you gonna hang with me, Pops? Oh, I'll stick around until you get released. Oh, hey, speaking of which, can you check on my campsite for me? I don't have much, but I'd hate to think someone ran off with my bike. I already did. The ranger took me out there and I gathered your stuff and I drove your bike back to my hotel. I also washed your bedding and clothes. Thanks, Dad. When my dad comes through for you, it goes all the way. I was out the next day. Dad was there with a fresh pair of clothes, and we were out of there. "How about I buy you a burger?" he said. "Why don't you let me buy you a burger, Pops? You drove all the way out here." "Shut up. Just let me buy my son a burger. Maybe we could stop out at that bar and have one, maybe?" I busted out laughing, which hurt the ribs. "Show him what an Irishman can do?" He laughed with me. My dad wasn't much of a fighter. The only time I saw him lose it was, well, when a trucker wouldn't stop grabbing my mom's ass. She was working at a diner, and he did it right there in front of the both of us. And my dad had asked him politely to stop twice. Well, the third time, my dad tossed his ass through the door. "No sense wasting time with that," I said. "Let's just get a burger and leave it at that." We found a place next to the hotel Dad was at. Food was great. The waitress was hot. And outside of feeling dehydrated as hell and like there was a rock stuck in between my ribs, I felt pretty good. "So, where you headed next?" Dad asked. "Idaho," I answered. "You ever heard of this place called Craters of the Moon?" "Well, yeah, Mom and I took you kids out there a long time ago, but you got sick." "Jesus, I was always sick on vacations." "You were. You do. And now look at you, kid. You're on vacation because you're sick." Yeah, that was a bit of irony there. I wish I would have done this trip a long time ago. But life makes you busy. Okay, maybe that's not right. Life's what we make it. We make ourselves busy. And sometimes we do it to escape really looking at the truth. And now, here I am, making time to look at the truth before it's too late. I coughed, clutching my hurt ribs, and then I brought out a napkin to my lips and hacked out a spatter of blood. Dad saw it, but then he looked out the window like he didn't see it. "You okay?" he asked, still not looking at me. "Yeah, Pops, I'm okay." "How often is that happening?" "Daily. It's part of my life now, Dad." "That man has intense eyes. So when they well up with tears, it's so hard not to tear up yourself." "Dad, sorry." I reached my hand across the table and grabbed his forearm. "Pops, don't be sorry. I'm gonna be okay. Really." We sat silently for a moment, poking our food but not really hungry anymore. He was having a hard time with this. As much as it pained me to see my father sad, part of it was satisfying to see that he really cared so much about me. "You boys saving room for dessert?" the waitress asked. Uh, no, I think we're good, thank you," Dad answered. "You guys need a box to take it back with you?" "No, we're gonna chew on them for a bit. Thanks," I said. She left, and I watched her walk away. "So," Dad diverted my attention, "I never see you on Facebook anymore." I had to laugh because before I left on this trip, I was always on that damn site, mostly to keep up with old friends from school, but secretly, I was peeking in on my kids, see what they'd been up to and how they're doing. I can maybe talk more on that later. The last post was hitting the road. Gonna find America like all the Captain America and Sal Paradise wannabes. See y'all on the flip side. Nah, Dad, I said. I'm too busy now. Things to see. Don't need that distraction. Well, the only reason I said anything was Jean asked about you. Fuck. Jean. I really didn't need that distraction. We dated in high school and then broke up when I left for college. 30 years later, we found each other. Yes, on Facebook. And she was divorced and I was, and we met up and started dating again. Out of all the women out there I had the pleasure to know, she's the only one who really got me. The only one who knew me inside and out. And things were great until I got sick. And then she came up with some weird excuse as to why we couldn't be together. And she was out of my life as fast as she came in. She's always been at the back of my head since. Did she contact you? I asked. No, she's just been blowing up your Facebook page. You creeping on my profile, Pops? He chuckled. No, just checking to see if you're posting or about your trip. And she was on there? Yeah. Huh. You miss her? Yeah. But what can I do about it? That was my past. Son, Dad rarely ever called me that before. It kind of shook me. I think you should try and contact her. You two were pretty good together. Dad, I really need to do this trip. I know. But why not call her while you're out on the road? And what would be the point? Seriously, I'm gonna die in I don't know, months, a year. It's fucking pointless. Well, I just don't want you to, you know, what? I don't want you to die alone. I'm never alone, Pops. I thought about the conversation I had with Ben about relatives. You've lived your whole life alone. I was always gone. You never kept a girlfriend longer than a year. I was married for 10 years, I protested. You and your wife were so off and on that you wore out your sister's couch. They all cheated on me. I don't know what Jean had going on in her head, but she went away. I don't need someone to not be alone. I've got you and the rest of the family. Well, okay then. He took a bite of his burger and then asked, what about your kids? Dad, I didn't like this topic. I know, son. But look, don't you think they need to know? They're probably better off not knowing. I mean, I haven't spoken to them in years. They probably. I just thought I'd bring it up. He sat back and sighed. So, when you taking off? He finally asked. Well, I'm about out of daylight, so probably not till tomorrow morning now. You want to split a room? Well, if you don't mind. Why would I mind? I'll run over and book us a room for another night. We went back to the room. Dad had bought me a few things: a cold compress for my ribs, a straw that purifies any water you drink from, and a flip phone. What's the phone for? I asked. In case something happens again, you can call me. I don't even remember your phone number off the top of my head. Funny, isn't it? I grew up in an age where you remembered every goddamn important number by heart. I could recite you right now my home phone number from when I was in high school. I could recite Jean's old phone number, Grandma's old number, and my social security number off the top of my head. But now we've got everything programmed into these speed dialing little Star Trek computer thingies, and I can't tell you shit no more. Oh, it's okay. I programmed it in there along with some other people's. Yeah, this guy was a piece of work. God damn it if I didn't love him with everything I got. And please, he said, grabbing my wrist, stay in contact with me. Send me a photo or something so I know you're okay. Now, normally, if Mom would fuss over me, I'd throw a fit and I'd tell her to back off because I'm an adult. But now that my dad does it, it means something totally different. I flipped the phone open and snapped a quick selfie with the old man, and I sent it to his phone. There, I said. You're the first photo on the phone. Happy? Yep, he said, and finished his burger. And that, my friends, is the end of chapters 9 and 10. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So, since I have to switch over to another screen to read, I can never, and I can't have my phone on because it screws everything up. I never know if you guys are saying anything. So, I got to jump in between chapters or jump in after I'm done reading. So, anyhow, I am taking off late tomorrow night to the airport, heading to Miami. I'm going to be an officiant for my little sister Sarah's wedding, and I'm very honored by that. Um, my sister is very last minute with everything, and she's been trying to make sure that everything is copacetic with my ordination papers and the state of Florida. So hopefully, everything's okay. Otherwise, it'll just be a sham marriage like the rest of mine. What a great story to listen to. Well, good. I'm glad you liked it, Jessica. That one isn't so tear jerking as the other ones. When are we going to Jackson Hole to see if that jack wagon is still there? So actually, that fight that I described in that part, that actually is a bar here in Minnesota. It's not in Jackson Hole. Um, but yeah, so that's where that is. And I did have amoebic dysentery. Um, not quite in the same context as the story. Um, but what happened was my parents had bought a Winnebago, and and we took it to the West Coast, and we are gonna drive up and down the West Coast with it. And while we were in Colorado, um, Mom took these empty milk jugs and she filled them up with this water from a mountain stream that was coming down, and the mountain stream was right by a rest area, I might add. And she filled up the jugs, and then we were on our way to Las Vegas, and and it was super hot when we were driving through the desert, so I like chugged a whole jug of that water, and we got to Las Vegas, and I got to spend one night at Circus doing the kiddie stuff, and then We got to California the next day, and I couldn't go because I was sicker than a dog. And I was sick all the way up until we got to Sacramento, where an aunt lives. And yeah, all the stuff that I described in there happened to me. It was not. It was rough. It was a rough time, and I'll never trust my mom for that. And that isn't even the first time my mom tried killing me. So there you go. Um. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed these two chapters. Um, I hope you enjoy the break here. From me and Bobby, uh, breaking your speakers on your computers and your phones. But we will be back. Well, he and I will be back next Thursday. I will be back on Tuesday for chapters 11 and 12. And it's going to have some mystical healing things going on in the next two chapters. It'll be good. It'll be good. I think you guys will like it. I like it. You guys will like it. Yeah. So here I am tooting my own horn, right? So anyhow, I will probably do a shout out from Florida on Sunday with a cup of coffee. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for coming out, Bobby. Bobby, thank you, all of you. Thank you for sharing my events with your friends and family list. I do hope that they remain your friends and family. After bringing them over here. But yeah, I mean, a good chunk of the people I see coming on to the b.hive page are people I don't know. So they've got to be friends of yours. Christmas music next Thursday. You need to cool your jingle bells as well, Mr. Paulson. The Christmas special will come soon, sooner than you think. So, but let's get through Halloween. Hey, how about that? How about Halloween? Let's give Halloween some airtime, buddy. Oh boy, we will have to learn the Monster Mash though, won't we? For Thursday, yeah, we got to do that. So, Werewolves of London, Wolf, yeah, Little Red Riding Hood, yeah, yeah. So, anyhow, have a great week. Rest of the week. Have a great weekend, you guys. Enjoy yourselves. I hope it warms up here for you Minnesotans. Um, while I go be a Floridian for a week, and then we will see you guys next Tuesday. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Listen to one another, and talk. Talk to each other. Listen and talk to each other. You may find out that you've got some pretty interesting people around you that have their own stories. You don't have to just listen to me. Snow. If that's what you want, Bobby, I hope that's what you get. But at least, hopefully, I get out of here. Beth, have a safe trip. Thank you, Beth. Thank you very much. Pull the reins in on that fella once in a while, will you, Beth? Please? And wrap him up in jingle bell. No, actually, don't do that because I think he would like that a little too much. I don't know what the answer is on that, but good luck. So, all right. I love you guys. Peace and a bottle of hair grease. Mwah. And for Kevin, there you go. All right. Have an awesome night. Bye. Bye. I'm going to go be Reverend Bradley Bodeker now. On me, saw. Thanks, Chuck.